guys, Genesis chapter 5, and I'm going to apologize now for any of these names that I butcher attempting to say them, but let's get started. Verses 1 and 2. I turned too many pages. Okay. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day they were created. Okay, so it says he called their name Adam. Both of them. But I thought the man's name was Adam. Yes. So God called them Adam. Adam means man. Human. Okay, humankind. We call him Adam, but Adam is just the Hebrew word for man. Okay, so God created them and called them man. Man. Okay, verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness after his image and called his name Seth. So, this is how we know that the murder of Abel was close to 130 years after creation. And he had Seth. We talked about Seth in chapter 4. Okay, so verses 4 and 5. And the days of Adam after he begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. So Adam lived 930 years. I'm going to put that right up there. Adam lived 930 years. Also says he had sons and daughters. Okay, that's how we know it wasn't just Cain, Abel, and Seth. He had more sons and he had daughters. All right, verses 6 to 8. And Seth lived 105 years and begot Enos. And Seth lived after he begot Enos 807 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years and he died. So Seth lived 912 years. So also we know from the end of chapter 5 that people again started to call on the name of the Lord when Enos was born. Seth was alive for 105 years before that, so it took at least 105 years before people began to cry out to God again, okay? So it's 105 years of sin and worldliness. And also we talked about how the lifespans were very, very different than they are now. And we're going to see in the next coming chapters why they changed. But 9 to 11, and Enos lived 90 years and begot Canaan. And Enos lived after he begot Canaan 815 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. Okay, so far we have Adam, Seth, Enos, and Canaan. This is the line, okay? 12 to 17. And Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after he begot Mahalalel 840 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years and begot Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begot Jared 830 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. I know that it might seem kind of unimportant to put how old they were at every interval of every person, but it's really important. We're going to talk about it at the end of the chapter, why that it's like that, how we can take these numbers and trace back the creation at what, like how old the earth was at the time of the flood and things like that, okay? So now we have Adam, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, and Jared. So 18 to 20. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begot Enoch. Okay, that Enoch. And Jared lived after he begot Enoch 800 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. So Jared has Enoch. This is the Enoch. Okay, this is the one that is raptured up into heaven to be with God. We're going to talk about that in a minute. It's not Cain's son. Cain also had a son named Enoch. Remember we said that was probably a popular name. But verse 21, and Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. Okay. Enoch has Methuselah. That's important. Remember that. Methuselah is Noah's grandpa. But anyway, 22 to 24. And Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God and was not, for God took him. So Enoch is 365 years old. Okay, remember I said those numbers were important of how old everyone was at everything that happened, okay? But he is much, much younger than all the rest of the people, right? Because we know Adam didn't, let's see, Adam died at how old? 930 years old. Enoch has only made it to 365. But something happens, okay? I did the math. I counted all the numbers up. At this point, Adam was 524 years old when Enoch was born. So when Enoch is 365, Adam is 889. So Adam is still alive at this point where Enoch is raptured out, and I'm using that word on purpose. We'll talk about it in a minute, but Adam is alive, okay? So that means that only 2 humans have died at this point that we know of, that it's listed, because Adam, the very first human, is still alive. They all lived very long lifespans. The only 2 that have died have been Abel and then the guy that Lamech murdered, okay? So God takes Enoch, but Enoch's not dead, right? So it says he was not. The old Hebrew word here literally means nothing left. There was nothing left behind of him. So his body wasn't left. He didn't die. Death is just a separation of soul, spirit, and body. He didn't have that. His body wasn't here. He didn't die. He was taken completely, all of him. It also says that God took him. But the word here for took is also the same word used for when God took the rib from Adam. It is that intentional taking of one thing inside of something else that God did with God's hands. God reached down and took that specific rib from Adam, just like he reached down and he took Enoch, specifically, all of him, okay? So he physically took away Enoch. All right, 25 to 27. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Lamech. Again, popular name, not the one from Cain, okay? And Methuselah lived after he begot Lamech 782 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Okay, so Methuselah is the oldest man that ever lived at 969 years old. He is Noah's grandpa. Also, if you do the math forward, you will see that exactly, I can't say to the date because it doesn't give us a birthday, but year-wise, exactly to the year, the 969 years after Methuselah was born is when the flood took place. So, Methuselah more than likely died in the flood, meaning Noah couldn't even let his grandpa on the boat. We're going to keep going to 28 to 32 to finish out the chapter. And Lamech lived 182 years and begot a son, and he called his name Noah, saying, "The same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed." And Lamech lived after he begot Noah 595 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay, so Noah's born. He is a 500 at the end of this chapter, and he has 3 sons, okay? And we're going to get into that in the next few chapters. But what I want to point out, okay, this is the line that they've given us, a generational line. You have Adam, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, and Noah. Okay, at this point, where Noah is 500 years old, doing the math, counting back, Adam was this old when he had this kid, so then we take that age, we add it to the next one, right, all the way down, so the earth was created at 1,556 years ago at the point that Noah is 500 years old. That is one way we know the age of the earth. We talked about how the earth is an average of about 6,024 years, give or take 3 years or so. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But we know at this point in our story, in at the end of Genesis chapter 5, the earth was created 1,556 years ago from this point. And we're going to be able to keep track of it to see how we get that point where it is that age now. So, bye guys.